As more enterprises undergo digital transformation and new technologies emerge, an increasing number of endpoints, such as cameras, phones, smart endpoints, and IoT endpoints, are connected to campus networks. The challenge for network administrators is how to centrally manage them all. Conventionally, network administrators had to collect endpoint MAC addresses by telephone and manually configured MAC address authentication. However, it's time-consuming and error-prone work and leads to a whole host of security issues caused by endpoint spoofing, such as virus intrusion and key information leakage. To resolve these problems, Huawei iMaster NCE-Campus provides the endpoint plug-and-play function. With this enabled, iMaster NCE-Campus centrally manages endpoints through intelligent endpoint identification, automated policy matching, spoofing detection and alerting, and access information statistics collection. Let's take a closer look at these functions. Firstly, intelligent endpoint identification. Huawei iMaster NCE-Campus provides 7 endpoint identification methods and therefore can identify a multitude of endpoint types, including mobile phones and cameras. It can also identify the vendor, model, and operating system information of endpoints, as well as automatically classify endpoints by their types. Secondly, automated policy matching. iMaster NCE-Campus enables administrators to set authorization rules by endpoint type to implement finely tuned endpoint management. For example, iMaster NCE-Campus allows authenticated IP cameras to access only the surveillance network, and authenticated mobile phones to access only the Internet. The principle for implementing this is simple. After an endpoint accesses the network, iMaster NCE-Campus automatically matches the endpoint type against policies and enables the endpoint to access the network specified in the matched policy without administrator intervention. Thirdly, spoofing detection and alerting. iMaster NCE-Campus immediately identifies information inconsistency from an endpoint and generates an alarm once the endpoint is spoofed. As such, administrators can catch up with any endpoint type change in real time. For example, an endpoint that is originally identified as an IP camera suddenly is identified as a laptop. iMaster NCE-Campus catches this, generates an alarm to prompt the administrator, and automatically blacklists the endpoint. Preventing it from accessing the network again. Finally, access information statistics collection. iMaster NCE-Campus automatically collects statistics on endpoints connected to the network and generates reports to graphically show the endpoint type trends and proportions, as well as endpoint vendor trends and proportions. As such, administrators can obtain endpoint information on the network in real time. In a word, the endpoint plug-and-play function frees administrators from convoluted and tedious endpoint management. Huawei iMaster NCE-Campus simplifies connectivity of everything with endpoint plug-and-play.